once you embody this way of communication, you become it everywhere. It filters into all of your relationships. CEO, hardworking, hard charging, leading people situation, or that tender interaction between a parent and a child.
Hey, welcome to the podcast where dreams meet determination and success is just around the corner. I'm your host, Suzanne Taylor-King, and I'm here to help you unlock the full potential of your business and your life. Welcome to Unlock Your Way with STK. Let's unlock your path to success together. Good morning, everyone. We are here for another Friday conversation on Unlock Your Way with STK. I'm STK, and this is the incredible. I was so astonished when I met Terri. And Terri, I can't wait to have this conversation today and deeply listen to whatever you have to say. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Suzanne. I am super excited to be here, and I've enjoyed our earlier conversation. And so I am just eager to share a little bit with your listeners and just have a great exchange.
Yeah, so you just stood out to me within Andrew's group, and then Mike O'Neill, we're connected through him, and so many similar connections. And I felt like, deepening our relationship with a conversation, and you're so good at it. And of course, because of what you do with Soulful Listening, you're a great listener. And where did all of this begin for you?
Oh, first of all, thank you for those kind words. And the way I have learned to listen stemmed back from when I was a child. And I grew up in a very chaotic environment. I lived on the second floor of a stately mansion in a small country town. Second floor because my family had converted the first floor into this bustling restaurant with banging and clanging and late night bar crowds right beneath my bedroom every night from the time I was 3 years old on. And I had kind of a quieter temperament. And what I just ached for more than anything, was to feel seen and heard. And my immediate family was not available for that. The parents were consumed with their restaurant and they kind of turned to alcohol for their solace. But there was one person that did listen to me, and that was my grandma Helga. And in her presence, it's as though we were in a safe, warm, delicious bubble. Felt like the rest of the world had disappeared. And I turned to her counsel throughout my life. And there was one conversation in high school when you go to your high school guidance counselor that senior year and you're kind of discovering what's next. He pronounced this sentence upon me and said, "Terri, you're a small town girl. You get lost in a big city. Your best bet is to go to secretarial school and work for your family restaurant." Well, that was a death sentence for my spirit. So I had a couple of sleepless nights, and I turned to Grandma Helga, shared this story with her, and she was wise beyond belief, successful in business, resilient, twice widowed. And she was, just a person that would presence herself in a way that you felt safe and heard. And with all of her wisdom and accomplishment, she just kind of sat back very calmly and said, "Terri, look at all I've done without education. Think of what you can do with it." But in that moment, the trajectory of my life changed forever. And I went on to accomplish a couple of things along the way. But at the core of it was being heard in that way. And I realized how powerful that was. And so I went on and, did a few things, got a master's degree in educational psychology, showcased workforce innovations at the White House with teams that I had coached. We were there 2 times. And what I learned from that experience with human-centered design, at the core of that is empathy. And these stale programs flipped on their ear and they became very innovative. And I saw the power of empathy. But then I reflected upon what made me different and what changed my life and how my relationships were connected on a deeper level. And I realized there were major missing pieces in how we communicate. So I sequestered myself, was doing some reviewing some research, realized that over half of the American population is lonely, and the health implications of that are equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. This broke my heart. And so I thought, how can I turn a blind eye? And the answer was, you can't. And so out of this emerged, from my heart, from Grandma Heather's influence and impact, a methodology which is now known as soulful listening. So that was a long answer to your very short question, but I think it gives a little bit of a frame.
Yeah. And thank you so much for sharing that because I truly believe that what you're doing, because of where it's come from, because it was born in your own experience and from what you needed, and then what you witnessed in the world. And I just want to say that I notice so in my travels, so many lonely, disconnected, distracted people. And one of the key things that even my 15-year-old son is noticing is this inability to have interactive, back and forth
Mhm.
conversations. And I always thought that that was a skill that every human had. And it's become so obvious to me that it's not. And the act of being curious, interested in other people, you mentioned empathy. I think that's key. But it's also this idea like right now, you're listening to me. I was listening to you. And when I listen, I'm not thinking about what I'm going to say next. I'm taking in your story and feeling your connection to your grandmother and what the restaurant must have been like to live above that and feeling that as a like it's just so beautiful to do that with someone else. How do you, being who you are out in the world, how does this impact you as an entrepreneur? And how do you continue to lead by example like you do?
Mm. Oh, it's such beautiful insights. First of all, I applaud you for having the connection with your son to help him navigate through having conversations. Oftentimes in many families and many situations, deep listening and real communication is not being modeled.
Yeah.
The seduction of social media, which I'm a big fan of all of it. I
Yeah.
just think that there needs to be an and modeling of high quality communication. And so you ask how do I navigate in the world? I am that of which I speak.
Mm.
So once you embody this way of communication, you become it everywhere. So
Mm.
it filters into all of your relationships, whether
Mhm.
it be a beautiful romantic relationship, CEO, hardworking, hard charging, leading people situation,
Yeah.
or that tender interaction between a parent and a child.
Yeah.
It's everywhere, and with your friendships. So being authentic to this
Mhm.
uh, makes it very easy. And the soulful listening methodology is quite simple, quite easy to understand. And maybe it would be helpful for me to just brush over the five
Yeah.
elements.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Please, not only the methodology itself, but I think what is so helpful to witness here is your acknowledgement of you just being that person out into the world. And I think the ripple effect of that is incredible because every conversation that you have is another one that's modeling your methodology. So, yes, dive into the juicy meat.
Okay. So there are 5 elements in soulful listening, and I'm just going to go through each of those. The first one is self-care. And very rarely is the direct connection between high quality self care and high quality communication made, but it is critical. And it's more than a bubble bath, although it can include a bubble bath,
Oh, I had one of those sessions. It was very nice. Thank you.
which is absolutely wonderful.
Yes.
And it includes other things like how are we talking to ourselves? What's that loop that's going on? What kind of are we setting healthy boundaries?
Mm,
What's our nutrition look like? Are we moving our bodies?
yes.
So it includes all of it. Are we sleeping well? I mean, the importance of quality sleep cannot be overemphasized.
Mm,
And I can go into studies about that, but we're going to move on. So self-care, really taking care of your basic needs and beyond.
mm-hmm.
It sets us up for the second element of soulful listening, which is becoming fully present. Yeah. You can imagine we've all been in situations where you can almost see a bubble above a person's head with a list of things they're thinking about. We feel it. You mentioned earlier that you're not thinking 12 steps ahead on what you're going to say next. You're here, you're present. I feel it. And so sometimes it's kind of abstract and hard to understand what becoming
Yeah.
fully present is.
Yeah.
And so right now, we're going to take 3 intentional breaths, get in our bodies, and become more fully present. So first, just shrug your shoulders up and down, kind of move around, wiggle around a little bit. It's okay to do it.
Mm.
And now we're going to take 3 breaths. The way we'll do that, we'll breathe in through our nose, we'll hold, and then we'll breathe out through our mouth. We'll breathe into the count of 4 and out to the count of 6. And as you're doing that, notice the warmth of your heart area. So let's begin. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, in, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And a final time. In, 2, 3, 4, fold. And out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice your body now. Has anything changed?
Mm.
Yeah, I feel the difference between the two of us. We've just taken it down just a beat.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we truly take care of ourselves and we become fully present, we bring a quality of grace and compassion into our interactions, which sets us up for the third element of soulful listening, which is quantum listening. And if active listening and empathy had a love child, it would be this element of soulful listening. So it's where we listen with every fiber of our being, through all of our senses and beyond, tapping into our intuition, subtle signs that we just pick up on by being with another person fully. And when we listen in this way, and we enter conversations with a state of openness and maybe some high quality questions, we often gain insights into how we might be helpful to another. And that tees us up for the fourth element of soulful listening, which is the secret sauce, and it's inspired action. When we gain insights through these deeply connected conversations and we find a way that we can be helpful to another, it's very important to take action on that. And it may be as simple as making a phone call, making an introduction, sharing some information about the latest technology, how it could be used to be helpful to another person. But it's in action. It's when we're in action that really matters. And then the final element of soulful listening is the feedback loop. once a person has filleted themselves, you gained insights into how you might be helpful. You take action. It's critical that you let the person know that you've taken action, that you don't leave them hanging in the abyss, because in absence of that loop and that connection back, we make up stories. And the stories may go something like this. Oh, I told them, like really, really, I had a deep need, and they looked like they were listening. The head was nodding, they were leaning forward.
Yeah.
Crickets, nothing. I'm never going to say anything to that person again of substance. Yeah.
Yeah.
However, when this cycle repeats itself, it embeds integrity and confidence within relationships, no matter what the relationship is. Imagine when you're heard like this, when people take action, they've got your back, no strings attached.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just imagine that cycle repeating itself.
Well, what I love so much about this is, from my context in business, I mean, I can see how this would help with your family and your children and your friends. But in the context of business, because that's what I do for a living, I, I feel that this ability to listen, connect deeply, have empathy, be able to be of value to other people. And to me, being of value is not a sales pitch. It's deep listening for what they need out of my knowledge base or my resources. That's not part of selling them something.
Right.
And I feel that that's the way to not only grow a business, grow a network, grow connection with other people, but what you're talking about is being of service to others in a deep connected, and I heard the word trust, that there's some magical form of trust between two people or groups of people when there's listening like this involved.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's so true. And when we look at what the research is showing, and like magazines like Forbes, who reported this year that a whopping 69% of people in the workplace don't are dissatisfied with the social connections that are there. That is powerful, and it's impactful in such a negative way, and it affects the bottom line.
Too.
And so when we look at the state of the world right now, we really need the best and the brightest in each of us, most fully expressed. And I believe that deep listening in this way is one way to unleash potential in the workplace and beyond. And so, when we talk about how does this affect business, how does this, make a lasting impact, all successful business is based on relationships.
Mhm.
And high quality relationships include deep listening.
Yeah.
And when we interact with people in this way, you mentioned the word trust. When we trust another person, then we could really reveal what we need. And that could be a customer too. Before, they might have just held back and think, well, all they want is something out of me. But when you come from an authentic position of, I'm here to help you, I need to know what your biggest pain point is. And when you have this container of safety and understanding and authenticity, your customer will be more likely to fully reveal. By holding the space for another person, it gives them a chance to kind of introspect in your presence. And see, then they could really, really get at what they need, as opposed to just skimming the surface. And this kind of listening is done, with other people. And we also need to do it within ourselves. If you have dissonance, if you have some agitation inside, you are telling yourself something.
Mm.
Listen, take action.
So wise, and immediately as soon as you said listening within ourselves, I think that skill, to be able to silence the inner critic or so many times I meet people and they just are so excited to sell their product or their service that they skip over the know, like, and trust, and they go right into the sales pitch. And this goes for offices as well. If you're working in a corporate environment, instead of connecting with other people and listening for what they need, you go right into, well, this is what I need you to do. And, this leadership skill that you're talking about, it's self-leadership at its finest is what I heard. And when I listen to me, I'm able to tap into not only my own intelligence, universal intelligence, all the wisdom I've gained over the years and really feel, what does Terry need in this moment? And how would she like me to serve, take action, help, guide, or sometimes it's just listening. That's it. And I I think you should be a household name, today's day and age, because this is the missing skill that so many are forgetting is part of the basics. And I don't know. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's true. What I do know that as humans, we're designed to thrive when we feel seen and heard and supported by others, period. And in absence of that, we do not become the full expression of ourselves.
Mhm.
We will hold ourselves back, or we will tell ourselves stories that, really are embedded with limiting beliefs. And we need others. We need one another to help us navigate out of those stuck patterns.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that. I hear that, as we grow, as we, obviously you and I are in this online space right now, um, connecting with each other. I think it's slightly different in person, but it doesn't have to be that different connecting virtually or connecting in person. And I think through some of the things that you're talking about, we can really expand those virtual connections to be more real, more human.
Right. And the beauty of being able to use technology is you can scale your reach.
Mhm.
One-on-one is lovely, and I enjoy that
Yeah.
tremendously. And I also realize, you'd mentioned that soulful listening should be a household name, or we should be out there and doing it. I physically cannot be every place all at once. And so, like using technology as an aid for sharing like a meaningful message, something that is, has some teeth to it that you can apply in your own life that is, like valuable and maybe not gleaned in our day-to-day life through just
Yeah.
casual interactions. Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
the combination is good.
Well, I love that, and I'm so excited to be a part of the spreading of what you're doing. Do you have a podcast by any chance?
I don't. I'm invited to be on an awful lot of people's podcasts, so I'm choosing to do that.
Mhm.
And I'm, looking at scaling ways for me to get the message out, like
Mhm.
like through LinkedIn Live. I love this platform.
Yeah.
And so I'm, constantly looking at other ways. I'm in the process of writing a book right now, which is titled Soulful Listening for Leaders.
Mhm.
And, we're having conversations with agents and publishers right now, so fingers crossed.
Oh, that is just so, so wonderful. And I think what I would love to do is invite you back when the book comes out so we can actually dive into the book, and I'd be happy to help you promote that. And
Thank you.
any platform that I can give this mission of yours is just an absolute honor. So thank you to Mike O'Neill for bringing such a wonderful group of people together to listen and learn from each other, and honored to have you in my circle, Terry.
Thank you. I feel the same about you. So this has been, yeah, just delightful.
Wonderful. I am going to share your link here in the chat. Hold on one second and tell us where we can get in touch with you and where's the best place to
Okay.
follow you.
Well, I love to connect on LinkedIn. So anybody listening that I'm not currently, connected with, please shoot me an invite. So that's one way that I love to connect. Um, my website, it, usually has pretty current things that are going on. So that's one way to find out what I'm up to. And I did a TEDx talk, and that's kind of a nice one to share with people so that they can, have just kind of a broad understanding of what soulful listening is. And we feel good. We're right at around 200,000 views on that. So I'm, you know, delighted when people check in and enjoy that.
Oh, I love that. I will make sure to go find that link and share that below this video for anyone interested in checking out Terry's TED Talk. Congratulations on that,
Thank
by the
you.
way. That's
Thank you.
amazing. Thank you for being here today. And thank you for sharing a little bit of your heart and your message and being so, so incredible at listening. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. My honor.
Thank you for tuning in to another empowering episode of Unlock Your Way. I hope you found today's discussion inspiring and you're ready to take your business and personal growth to that next level. If you're feeling as fired up as I am and eager to unlock that full potential, I'm here to help you on your journey and provide that personalized guidance tailored to your unique goals and challenges. Simply book a one-on-one coaching call with me and we'll dive deep into your business aspirations and see how we could co-create a roadmap for your success. And whether you're striving to scale an enterprise or just getting started, I'm here to support you every step of the way. To schedule your coaching call, simply visit the website at unlockyourwaywithstk.com, click on the Book a Call button, and we'll turn your dreams into that reality. Subscribe and review on your favorite podcast platform and on YouTube. Plus, you can join over 800 entrepreneurs in the Idea Lab Facebook group. Let's make success as an entrepreneur happen together. Until next time, I'm STK. Keep dreaming big, stay focused, and most of all, have fun while you're doing it.